here's the first submission, and by looking at this image, I knew what I wanted to do. When the people first see this kind of images, they see a blindfolded person with some swords. They always think about cyberpunk, putting this guy on top of a building or Sakura kind of place and this sort of stuff, but I wanted to do something different, so I did a little experiment. As you can see me trying out different backgrounds, and finally I went for a car graveyard, and I wanted to add a little surrealism to it, which you can see later on in the process, but overall I wanted something different, so I went for it. And you already know the struggle of matching the perspective of different elements into the composition always takes some time, but overall that was fine. I had no problem with the perspective. And thinking about what is he actually doing? Is he the boss killer, like the car Terminator? Like, is he slaying those bosses? What is he doing there? So putting this guy over here inside a bunch of debris and cars and old bosses, it kind of felt weird, so I knew I was gonna add some sort of alien creature so that all this scene makes sense. And I did the same later on. And you're watching me color matching and matching the values using these check layers technique that I told you about. If you don't know how to use these check layers, I've got a couple tutorials on my channel on color matching with different techniques. You can watch them off. I'm gonna put the links in the description. They are really important, so make sure if you don't know about color matching, watch them off. And if you ever try to select anything with sharp edges, select it with the pen tool, because it just takes out the pain and pressure of refining the edges later on. Now just painting the shadows under this guy's feet, and considering the painting, I have to warn you not to overdo the shadows, because I see some people paint the shadows too much. They overdo it and they make the ground too dark. It kind of feels like there's a fucking black hole on the ground. Like, what are you doing, man? Seriously, why do you make the shadows too dark? The shadows are never black. Get a hold of yourselves and do not overdo the shadows. I know it feels good to paint these, but just control yourselves. Do not overdo it. Looks like trash. And if there's one thing that can improve your art and your manipulations in the good way, it is creating the sense of depth using some fog and atmosphere. So always create some sort of fog at the back of your subject and create a light source. Shine some light onto your subject, create some rim lights, make it dramatic. Go as far as you want with this one. The more the better, but do not overdo that again, because you're gonna completely blur out the background to the point where nothing is even visible anymore. So create the sense of depth using some simple fog brushes, and it's gonna improve your art a ton. Take it from me. Painting the contour lights is really gonna help you to achieve a certain style. If you want to go from reality to a little more unrealistic type of photo like surrealism, these contour lights, if you exaggerate them, are a great way to achieve that sort of style. If you want more of a digital and cartoonish look, work on your contour lights. That's just a great way to move from reality to surrealism while maintaining a high quality photo. And this is the creature that I was talking about in the beginning of the video, because I needed something that this guy is fighting with. He can't just stand there amongst this debris and do nothing just to take a shot. Is he modeling? No, he has to fight something, and what better way to just add something to the scene than some tentacles coming out of the bosses. And oh, this guy's blindfolded, he's a samurai, he's hunting these stuff. Also, for these tentacles, I use 3D Elements from Envato Elements, just a great website that I use all of the time for all my projects. And the great thing is that you can download these elements in PSD format, which means you have access to all the layers, including the shadows, the depth map, and all that. You can customize it. They're already pre-selected, so you don't have to go through the pain of selecting them all again. It's just a great website for downloading stock photos. Just replacing these woods with some swords, because no warrior fights with wood. And these swords, again, they are 3D elements that I downloaded off of Envato, and it just makes the life a lot easier. If you want to find a specific object in a certain angle, you just easily use 3D objects, rotate them around, and download them in your desired angle. One of my favorite parts in compositing is painting the hair, and I'm just infamous for my crazy hairstyles.
12 o'clock midnight.
And finally, after a good amount of time, I styled the hair, and I think it looks dope. And after that, there was really nothing much left for me to do, unless I had to work a little more on the lighting, and also I had to color grade the photo to finalize it and bring everything together, so you can watch me do this stuff. And as you may or may not know, for color grading my photos, I always use color lookup tables. They are easy to use and they work perfectly, just like better than any other adjustment layer that you can ever imagine. And by that, I color grade my photos using different color lookup tables on top of each other in different blend modes. Drop a comment down below if you want a tutorial on how I color grade my photos. There is one video already on my channel, but if you want a new version, just like an update, drop a comment down below so I know, and I will make a tutorial on how I color grade my photos using this different and sometimes custom presets that I have made. Thank you for your submission. I'll make sure to send this back to you as soon as I can. The whole idea behind this one is that I was trying to create an epic shot. Like, this guy's on top of a building, there's a cityscape behind with so many wires and cables in front. It looks like a rebel. It was not that hard to do. As you can see, it only consists of 3 main photos. One is the background, the other one is the subject, and the third one is the building that he's sitting upon, which again is a 3D elements that I downloaded from Envato. And the rest is just some overlays and wires and cables on top and me blending them together. I'm gonna make these wires and cables available for download in the description because I know many of you guys want them, so you can get them for free and click the link, download them from my Google Drive. Maintaining a sense of depth is really important in these images. You have to apply a blur to different objects according to their distance from the camera. This guy already had some great hair and it was almost the style that I was going for. So I just improved it a little bit by drawing on it just to add a little more punch to the hair. Dude, if you are seeing this video, I love your hairstyle. Keep it. Decided to make this guy look a little more rebellion, so I put one of these masks on his face just to make him more horrifying. I also wanted to do some heavy texturing and overlays on top of this image just to make it super dramatic, so I dropped a bunch of overlays on top, and you can judge for yourselves the before and after the overlays. It just makes a ton of difference, like brings everything together, and the image looks a whole lot more eye-pleasing after I apply these overlays. That's just an awesome thought, to just add different overlays to your photos to give them a little more punch. Take this from me as well. Thank you for your submission. I'll make sure to send your photo back as soon as I can. Thank you to everyone who watched the video. Make sure to drop a like and a comment if you enjoyed this. If you want to have your photos edited for free by me, submit your photos to the Gmail shown at the start of the video, and now you can watch any of my 2 other videos. See you on the flip side.